Hello and welcome to another Pokemon Wi-Fi battle, and this is just a casual battle with Zach and friends, and I'm just against my good pal Jacob, and we're just using some pretty, random stuff, I guess you could say. As you can see on his team, his only viable things are Zebstrika, and his Behem and I pretty much just have a Jumpluff and Electrode, and those are pretty much the only usable things we have on our teams, and that's... this is a casual battle. I'm sorry I didn't get this out yesterday. I was just really busy yesterday having a social life. But anyway, let's just get on with the battle. I lead out with my Wartortle, predicting him to lead out with his Ariados, and that's exactly what he does. So now, since I have my Rapid Spinner out front, he's forced to go for the Poison Jab as opposed to the Toxic Spikes, and I go for the Scald. And the damage that this Scald does is a little less than I would have expected, because Ariados is very frail. But I get the Scald burn, so that burn is going to kill it eventually, so I could just switch out into my Shelmet and let the burn take care of the Ariados. And he predicted me to go for the Scald, that's why he set up a layer of Toxic Spikes, and I'm just going to go for a layer of Spikes as he sets up his second layer of Toxic Spikes. So now my Wartortle has become a very important player on my team, because he's going to need to spin away those spikes, those Toxic Spikes for my teammates, and he goes for the Sucker Punch. I just go for a layer of Spikes, that's why it fails, and the burn is just going to wear that Ariados down to a point where it's going to die from it next turn. So, since I have two layers of Spikes, like I could just switch out into my Wartortle and hopefully Rapid Spin something away. He just goes for the Bug Bite, and it's not going to do anything to Wartortle, but I am badly poisoned from the Toxic Spikes, and Wartortle is going to die pretty soon. But I do have the rest, so I guess you don't know what's good and what's bad. So his Marshtomp is going to come in. I'm going to spin away his Toxic Spikes, so now my team can freely come in and out as they please. And he goes for a Curse, and this is his original Marshtomp Eviolite cursing set, and it's kind of ridiculous how much defense it has. And it goes for one Curse, and now it's a +1 attack and defense, and I'm just going to Toxic it so we can't sweep my team, and I take out lots of its bulk. And so he's just going to go for the Earthquake. It's not going to kill my Wartortle, but it's going to bring it down to a range where Poison is going to kill it off. So Wartortle dies. It pretty much did its job. It spun away the Toxic Spikes, and that's all it really needed to do, because he has nothing else that sets up hazards on his team. So I go into my Electrode, and I have the HP Grass as opposed to the HP Ice that most Electros carry, because I really hate Quagsires, and that's specifically what HP Grass is there for. So he's going to send in his Ivysaur because it quad resists the HP Grass, and I'm forced to switch out because I am Specs, so I'm going to send in my Shelmet. I don't really know what this Ivysaur is going to do, and it turns out that it's Sleep Powders, and I should have expected that, because anything that can learn Sleep Powder does use Sleep Powder, so my Shelmet's pretty much dead at this point. He's gonna go for a Giga Drain on my switch into my Nose Pass, and it's gonna do not that much damage considering that it is a stab and super effective hit, and Nose Pass with Eviolite is ridiculous how much hits this guy can take. So he goes for a Sludge, and he gets the Poison on me, and I see Sludge is kind of a gimmicky move because it's not very... It does has a really low base power, and all it does is regularly poison, and poison is not that useful. All it does is damage, and it's not that good. So I T-Wave him and then set up my Stealth Rocks, so now I have one layer of Stealth Rocks, well, only one and only layer of Stealth Rocks, and 2 layers of Spikes, so that's pretty good. And he's going to go for the Giga Drain, and it's going to bring my Nose Pass down to a range where Poison is going to get dead on the Nose Pass. It's going to get dead. So I send in my Jumpluff to hopefully revenge kill this thing with a Flying Gem Acrobatics. And since this Ivysaur is really bulky, it's probably like a physical set, it does not kill, but fortunately for me, he gets the Para-Hacks, and I'm going to finish it off with another Acrobatics, and I get a crit here, and it probably mattered because I'm not sure if a Jumpluff could have killed off that Ivysaur with a stab super effective Acrobatics at that range of health. So Zebstrika is going to come in. I don't know if it has Sap Sipper, or even if Sap Sipper on Zebstrika is released. So we go to Sleep Powder and miss, unfortunately. He's just going to go for the Overheat and obviously kill off my Jumpluff, because Jumpluff is not the bulkiest thing in the world, because Shuckle has that title for being the bulkiest thing in the world. So I'm going to switch into my Mightyena, and he right here says I'm going to go for the Volt Switch. So I decided to be a jerk and go for the Sucker Punch and kill off that Zebstrika, and then my Mightyena gets the Moxie boost, and he only has 2 Pokemon left, and they're both weak against Dark Stab of Mightyena, so I'm looking pretty good to sweep right here. He brings in his Lunatone, and we're going to go for the Crunch, and that's is a one-hit KO on that Lunatone after hazard damage, and this Mariana is gets +2 from Moxie, and yeah, I'm looking pretty set to sweep. His last Pokemon's Beheeyem. It's obviously going to get dead from a crunch, and that was pretty much good game, Jacob. And I like doing these casual battles from time to time because, one, they're really short, two, they're fun to do because you get to do whatever the heck you want, and I'm not sure if there's going to be a drum cover today just because of how like cramped for time I am. So hopefully I could get a drum cover out tomorrow, if not today. Please remember to add me on Skype at fizzingyourpoprawr, because if I got enough challenges through Skype, then I could totally replace PO battles that I upload per week with Wi-Fi battles, because they're just much more colorful and interesting than PO battles, and I would like to battle you guys, and that would be much more fun than just random people out in the interwebs. And until next time, toodaloo!